Warning! The following podcast contains strong language which some listeners may find offensive. If you do,
Up yours! That's only if you don't listen to the podcast. Otherwise, not up yours.
did you know the Untitled Wrestling Podcast is on all of the social media outlets? Give us a like, follow, share, subscribe, or even a review if you're feeling generous. Facebook and YouTube at Untitled Wrestling Podcast, Twitter, Twitch and Discord at Untitled Rest Pod.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. It is Tuesday, you know what that means. It's me, your boy Big Tasty, joined once again, as always, by Faye and Jay. Faye, start with you, how's it going?
I'm good. I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy today, but more importantly, I am left reeling by what I've just witnessed in that fan deletion match. So, you know, on a high.
Tony Khan will pay Fish Grimes. And Jay, how's it going?
I am okay. As I said to you before, I'm full of hay fever, so I might be hitting the cough button every now and again.
You're back to the time of the year where it's just loads of plants trying to have sex with your face.
Everything's trying to kill me. It's great.
Yeah, just plant jizz everywhere. Plant semen. Get down your bride to eat it all.
Yeah.
Too much plant semen.
As you know, I live opposite a park, so it's like...
Yeah. No, you don't live opposite a park, you live opposite like one of the biggest green spaces in Liverpool.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like as soon as I go near like the front side of my house, I'm just getting hit with all that.
Should we say that? Are we doxing you? Like, if someone's to stalk Jay, they just need to hang outside of all of the parks in Liverpool until you eventually see him.
I live by Sefton Park, definitely Sefton Park.
Yeah. That, right by the lake, that bit there.
Right by the lake.
Anybody else after that BTE episode craving peanut butter cheesecake?
I didn't even know that was a thing, and now it's all I want.
Yeah, same.
It's like, oh, that was... Should we talk about that to start with? Because it's only just happened. Oh, man, that was... I thought it was like, Alex Reynolds, man, he's killing it.
This was like peak, like COVID Kenny, like crazy Kenny. It was great.
Yeah. So for people who haven't been keeping up with BTE, over the last few weeks, Alex Reynolds has been sort of telling Matt Jackson that if he doesn't tell Kenny, he'll tell him like his secret. And obviously they've sort of been hinting, haven't they, recently, that it's building towards Kenny finding out about the books at Full Gear.
Yeah, because he's notably said he doesn't watch this shit.
Yeah. And so Kenny found out something. Well, the Dark Order told Kenny their secret, which was actually that Matt Jackson ate the peanut butter cheesecake that was in catering, and Kenny couldn't have any. And then him and Kenny had like a tense conversation, and Kenny was like, "I forgive you, but if you ever lie to me again, I'll fucking murder you." Matt Jackson was like, "Oh yeah,
scary,
everything's fine," and he just left. Yeah, it was like, "All right, okay."
Matt Jackson's in danger.
Yes,
he really is.
Yeah, and then there was also a clip
coming from one side. He's got Danielson with a screwdriver, just polishing it menacingly.
Who's going to stab him first? It's just
and he's got Kenny, who's going to knee him in the back.
There's also a hilarious little bit where Brandon Cutler was like, missed his alarm and slept in.
That was so good.
It's really funny because like Sarah's, like I think I said last week, Sarah's been watching through like all of the old BTEs from like, I think it was from like episode 65 or something like that onwards, and they've just gotten to All In, and so today we watched All In.
Great show.
So I think I haven't seen it since, like, me and you watched it live, didn't we, Jay, when it was on? We watched it in yours, I think. And
I watched it this year. Actually, I watched it early, like in January this year. Actually,
it's so jarring seeing A, how young everybody looks, like even though it was only like 5 years ago, and B, like how different it looks and feels from what AEW is now. Because it really feels like just a big indie show. Like there are bad mics. There are like, you know, the stage looks a bit weird. I mean, it's a really good show. It's a really fun show.
And
like,
the crowd is so hot.
The crowd, and like just trying to explain, like, well, not even explain, just to witness like how hot people like Joey Janela was like red hot at this point, wasn't he? He was like, he was so over. Like Penta was one of the biggest wrestlers in the world at this point on the Indies.
Well, that was the first time Penta and Kenny actually ever faced each other. in any kind of
that
match.
was such a good match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, so I was like watching BTE like regularly in the build up to all this. It was when I really started, like, it was kind of like subscription, like sort of watching for me, was when they were announcing matches for this week in, week out.
Mm.
And I remember the announcement of that match in particular, Kenny and Pentagon going, oh shit. Like that felt like a massive game changer for me. Whereas everything prior to that, like they'd announced Marty Scurll versus Okada, and I think they'd announced Hangman and Janela.
Yeah.
But that was about it. Oh, and the Battle Royal as well, obviously.
Because some of the results and some of the matches on the card were mad. So, like, first of all, to start off the pre-show, you had SoCal Uncensored, so Kazarian and Scorpio Sky going over the Briscoes.
Yeah.
Which was just nuts. The Battle Royal was like so good fun. Like, just seeing like fucking Damian Priest just in the Battle Royal, and then realizing when he's not in WWE, he looks massive. He's a huge man.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's lost a ton of weight since signing for WWE.
Yeah, but I mean,
trimmed up so much.
In this match, he looks like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That was such good fun. Austin Gunn being like a face, which is just so weird.
Jarring, isn't it?
Him and Billy just styling out. Yeah, that was. Yeah, and Trent with I still can't like place Trent with hair anymore. Like Trent with hair scares me.
Not real.
Yeah, that was really fun. On the opener match of the card, Matt Cross, son of Havoc from Lucha Underground, going over MJF.
Yeah. Matt Cross is like a real kind of good choice for like an opening match like that, because it was a celebration of indie wrestling, and Matt Cross is like, well, he's just a journeyman of the indies.
He'd worked everywhere at that point, hadn't he? So he was just because don't forget, this was like 2018 was like the year that Lucha Underground finally went away, wasn't it? Finally finished.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of people here were coming off Lucha Underground and like got a lot of popularity from that. So
yeah, it's so funny though. Seeing MJF still like the early makings of the MJF character.
Oh yeah, same gimmick, same music, same attire, everything. Like, just all he's done is refined it over the course of 5 years, which is really fun. Stephen Amell having a singles match with Daniels. Unfortunately, that was like Stephen Amell's last match, and I don't know why he's not done another one.
That was Bullet Club Stephen Amell as well.
Yes,
wasn't he?
yeah, when he was in Bullet Club, yeah, which was just wild. The women's four-way was great.
You say it's his last match. Have you not watched Heels?
I actually haven't yet. You know, I do need to.
I've seen the first episode. It's quite good.
Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, Madison Rain, and Tessa Blanchard.
Britt Baker came out to Adam Cole's Ring of Honor music.
She did, yeah. They couldn't afford Downstate, apparently.
It was before it was written.
Yeah,
really. That was a really weird. That was a really weird match though, because that's the one where like Tessa Blanchard had a cover, and like I think Britt Baker dived to break it up and just didn't get there in time, so they just counted the 3. And I don't know if that was meant to happen or whether they fucked it up. I
think Tessa was meant to win, but they fucked the finish.
It was very Becky pinning Ronda at WrestleMania in the main event sort of finish. Then this match, which I have no words to describe it, so I'm just going to read what's on Wikipedia because it's ridiculous. Cody, accompanied by Brandy Rhodes, DDP, Glacier, and Tommy Dreamer, versus Nick Aldis, accompanied by Jeff Jarrett, Samuel Shaw, Sean Daivari, and Tim Storm. Like
Samuel Shaw being Dexter Lumis, for anyone who doesn't know.
What the ever living fuck is that collection of people all doing in the ring together?
Yeah,
it's like the universe is splintered, isn't it? Like
it's like the last 5 minutes of a Marvel movie where like they just stop caring about continuity and just like fuck it, just whatever. Everyone go.
So everyone go out. It's fine.
That's a cracking match as well, isn't it?
It is. It's a very.
Oh,
it's the codiest Cody. It's the codiest Cody match to ever Cody.
Yeah,
but it's very. But this was back in the day when Cody matches were like legitimately very good. Like between this one and the one with Dustin.
Yeah, this match should have made Aldis a megastar. I thought. Like I thought he should have guaranteed them like a job in WWE or AEW quite comfortably.
Apparently, he's got big heat with Big Match John. so that's why I never got to WWE.
Well, I saw something that they had talks, and then because of the hiring freeze,
Right.
with like because the hiring freeze with WWE, because this obviously they've been acquired by Endeavor, but it's not quite like finalized yet, any of it. That's why, because there's a couple of other people like Tama Tonga and Colby Carino who's also meant to join WWE and didn't because of the hiring freeze.
Yeah.
Still,
but now he's in Impact. He's probably who Colby.
Tama.
Oh fuck knows, I don't care. Tama Tonga. Yeah.
Then we had what was probably my favorite match of the night in terms of just in-ring action, which was Hangman versus Joey Janela.
You say in-ring action?
Well, just around ring action. When a match ends, when a match ends with a dead eye off a ladder through a table, you know it's a good one.
I love this Hangman. You know, I miss this Hangman so much. I really do.
Well, when his gimmick is just has massive dick.
No. You know what I mean? Like
that was his gimmick, basically.
I know that was his gimmick at that point. I know it was. I'm trying not to think about that.
He was a little more he was a little more dangerous, wasn't he? He was a little more sort of a little bit like a few more sharp edges.
I feel like though he kind of like reserves that now for like when he's doing Texas death matches and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like when he's facing Mox.
He only brings that side of him out when he absolutely has to. Like he brought it out against Kenny, he brought it out against Mox, brought it out against Archer, Adam Cole, Danielson. I think it's better because like it's almost like the nuclear option for him. Like he starts getting like an actual like brawler when he needs to, as opposed to just doing it all the time. But yeah, that Janela and Hangman's one of my favorite matches ever, just because it's so good. Like the fact that Hangman just burning hammers Joey off the apron through the fucking guardrail like 2 minutes in.
Yeah,
like it just really set the standard. Like, okay, yeah, Joey's gonna die.
Because like Sarah was like, why was because I was trying to explain like Joey Janela was like really over at this point. Like spring break was just becoming like a big thing. He'd done like 2 spring breaks and like he was really getting over for doing like mad shit. And then like Sarah was like, well, why is he so over there? And then he just literally did like a flipping senton over the guardrail into like the 5th row of the crowd on top of Hangman. And it was like that's why right there. That's why everybody loves Joey Janela, because he's a fucking lunatic at this point. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, that powerbomb off the stage where he missed all the tables as well was deeply upsetting.
There was also in the Battle Royal, I think, who was it? Someone threw, I think it was Austin Gunn, got thrown out, and he just didn't catch the apron. He just went straight over the top rope to the floor. Like, nothing slowed him down. Nothing broke his fall. He just went like body fit, like front of his body just like splattered the concrete. And I was like, oh, that ain't good.
It's these moments, isn't it, that do make it feel like more like an indie show.
Yeah. There was a Cracker Barrel as well, which
there was,
which we saw once again in early AEW.
Didn't Hangman do a buckshot of it?
Yes, he leapt over for a buckshot, and he also like threw someone into it as he threw Joey into it as well. Next up, we have a very rare match in which it's a wrestling match where everybody, well, not everybody because Brandy's there, but nearly everybody involved is problematic. So you have Jay Lethal accompanied by Lanny Poffo with them facing Flip Gordon. And it's like, wow, you really just put all the wrong uns in one match, didn't you? That was
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so that can get in the bin. And then the triple main events, so Kenny versus Penta, which was fucking ridiculous. And also, I forgot about the ending as well. When the lights went out and then Jericho ran in. Jericho was there dressed as Penta, and he like beat Kenny up.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story behind that?
No.
So Jericho basically, like, Jericho was like saying, wasn't he, in the build up, oh yeah, I wouldn't work for another show in the US out of respect for Vince McMahon. And then he showed up on this. But they basically said to Penta, can you bring like 2 identical sets of gear for us? So like Jericho can wear one and you can wear one.
Can you make one slightly bigger?
Well, so Penta brought the gold one that he wore and then a silver one as well. So they had to go and get like gold spray paint from like Home Depot and spray paint the Penta's gear gold for Jericho like on the day.
Oh my god, so carny.
That's incredible. Just, I mean, the one thing that we like Sarah pointed out to me when we were watching was like, yeah, Jericho's body there isn't far off Penta's. Like they look pretty identical until like you look at the tattoos and like, oh right, okay, Jericho's actually in really good shape at that point. I mean, I know he is again now, but like there was a period
Wasn't
there
that
where
not that long after his bout in New Japan as well, though?
well he was
It
he
was-
was he was
and
he was
stuff
still
like that.
wrestling in Japan at that point, wasn't he? Because that was
Yeah.
it wasn't the build. He'd already wrestled Kenny at that point, hadn't he?
It was the year he'd wrestled Kenny, and then he was feuding with Naito.
Yeah.
But I think him attacking Kenny was kind of like to sort of plant the seeds for the rematch in AEW.
Yeah.
But obviously, without there being currently an AEW or a concept of it or a rematch to sort of book, it was just kind of like a cool moment. But also, it worked out well because it gave AEW this kind of like, well, Kenny got attacked by Jericho at All In. There you go, first match.
Mm-hmm. And then so next up, then we had Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll. Now, irrespective of Marty turning out to be a fucking wrong'un, I think this is a match that people will look back on in like 10 years' time and be like, why the fuck did Okada give this much to Marty Scurll?
Yeah.
The whole build to it was Okada like taking the piss out of how small was Marty was compared to him as well, wasn't it? Like he kept doing 205 because 205 Live was a thing.
Right near the end before he remaking him as well. He did it. And it was like, oh, that's perfect.
This match is kind of in infamy because it went massively over.
Yeah, I mean, according to Wikipedia, it went 26 minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody
Oh my
needed
God.
this.
No.
And it's a good match. I mean, it's weird looking back at it.
To give you an idea, the 19-person Battle Royal went 17 minutes on the pre-show.
Yeah.
The main event, a 6-man tag, went 11 and a half minutes because of this.
Because of this, yeah. But you can hear as well, like, for like about 5 minutes at the end, there's a guy shouting, "Marty, go home! Marty, go home!" And Okada's just like Okada-ing it up because no one's going to tell Okada he's going over, are they?
No, you can't. How do you tell Okada in 2018 when he's at the peak of his power? How do you tell Okada? No, you've got to end it now, mate.
This was like one of the only shows Okada did outside of Japan that year as well.
Yeah. And Marty's like, it's like, I'm going to fucking ride this as long as I can. If we're going half an hour, I'm going half an hour. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah. And then the main event, which got cut short, which only got 11 and a half minutes. The Golden Elite, Kota Ibushi, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson versus Bandito, Rey Fenix, and Rey Mysterio.
This
Rey Mysterio,
sounds
that's his Wolverine.
like... No, yeah, the gear was unbelievable. But you know, like when you just say this out loud, it just sounds like you've made a fever dream match in your head.
Yeah, and this was 2
it?
weeks before Rey Mysterio re-signed with WWE.
Yeah.
He was like, he must have been like in talks like when this pay-per-view was happening to like go back.
Well, infamously, like in the build-up to this, there was a lot of people at WWE like try to sign to deals in NXT to kind of like sidetrack the show.
Like people who were going to appear on the show, yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Deonna
that's sad.
Purrazzo was meant to be in the women's match. I think who did she get replaced by? Was it? I'm trying. Who was in the women's match again? It was Tessa Blanchard,
Britt
Britt.
Baker, Chelsea Green, and Madison Rayne.
I think it was Madison Rayne was like a late addition to that match because it was meant to be Deonna Purrazzo, and then she got signed by WWE. I think there was a couple of other people that kind of like got told, "Oh yeah, if you wrestle on the show, we won't sign you," sort of thing. Who had talks.
That's kind of sad.
Which is mad because this was a Ring of Honor show.
Technically, yeah.
Because you get this now through Fight Plus, don't you? Like, it's just something they give you now.
I don't know. I bought it when it came out. So.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you because I think me or you or both of us bought this. Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, we watched it on your Fight account today. So for what it's worth, you've got it. So
Yeah.
right, to get this, had to watch the pre-show on Daily Motion because it's not anywhere officially.
Is it not on YouTube?
Not because it was on WGA or whatever the fuck it was, some weird network exclusively. I can't remember how we watched it. Like, was it on Fight? Was it on?
It was on Fight, I thought.
Wait, it wasn't. It's not on. It's not on Fight now. I'll tell you that.
It might be on
Really?
Honor Club though.
It might be on Honor Club, but fuck trying to search anything on Honor Club. I just Sarah just put it into Google, and the first thing was a Daily Motion link for the entire thing. Which then, when it finished, immediately played to like a part of the pay-per-view. It played a clip of the pay-per-view, which was just Cody winning the NWA title. I was like, oh, there's a spoiler.
Which is the most Cody thing ever.
What a show it was. Like, I think Jay, I was just talking to Jay before we started the podcast. We're thinking about maybe doing a review of it before we're all in London, just to sort of
me and Aaron had a little conversation about it over the weekend, so we're probably going to try and get something like that boxed off before.
I'd absolutely be up for watching it again and then talking about it, because I really enjoyed it. It was it was like you say, Jay. It was just a celebration of like everything that was good in the Indies at that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's a fascinating snapshot of indie wrestling at this point in time as well, which it's almost like a little time capsule.
The All In pre-shows on Fighting Him.
Oh right, fair enough.
I've literally just like got on the and then on like the viewers also watch, just scrolled along and it's there.
Oh fair, right, sound. Right, we're gonna have to talk about Backlash, aren't we?
Yeah, I watched this live with Aaron. I thought it was a really fun show. I genuinely like those moments where I was just like, this is a bit, but as a whole for a WWE show, I thought it was really fucking good.
Better than WrestleMania.
I'd say I enjoyed it more than Night 2, definitely.
Oh, fair.
I enjoy going to the dentist more than Night 2, to be fair.
Yeah. The only good thing on Night 2 was Hossagaddon, which I feel like WWE are kind of trying to like double down on now with like
trying to recreate
on this. So yeah, opening match was Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the Raw Women's Championship. This was outstanding. This is genuinely one of my matches of the year so far.
I did see this earlier because Sarah started watching it, and yeah, this match was excellent. Also, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Bayley's trousers.
Yes,
because the internet has lost its collective mind over them.
Yeah, I lost my mind when I saw them too.
Interesting, really, that as well. So Io pretty much had it in the bag, and then as soon as like it looked like she was slightly in doubt, Damage Control came out to help her. Bayley distracted the referee. Dakota hit Bianca with like a kick, and then as Io's going up top for the moonsault, Bayley grabs Bianca's ponytail, and the referee catches it. And from that distraction, Io then misses the moonsault, and Bianca hits the KOD. Really, really good match. Would recommend if you watch any match from like the weekend at all, watch this because it was just an absolute blast. We then had Seth Rollins versus Omos, which was a match that happened. Seth won with a stomp off the top rope after basically just throwing everything at Omos.
I saw Omos did like some undertaker moves, which was quite fun. Like a little tribute to them. He did Snake Eyes, he did a big boot.
Omos looked really good in this match. Like he didn't look terrible at all. He looked a lot better than I've seen him.
A lot of people on Twitter were saying this was one of Omos's best matches.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's against Seth Rollins, so it's going to be, isn't it? But also, I agree. It went a little bit long for me, but I enjoyed. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed watching it. After this, I believe it was Rhea versus Zelina Vega, which was it?
Zelina looked.
No, sorry, I'm lying. It was a Theory defending the US title against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. This, again, pretty fun match. Bronson Reed hit a moonsault, which was insane. He missed the moonsault, and then Lashley, as he bounced up, Lashley just murdered him with a spear.
I think it's a spear. Well, trying to draw me into an Austin Theory match by giving me Bronson Reed versus Bobby Lashley.
It was a very enjoyable match. I did really enjoy it. Shame that obviously Theory won, but I feel like Bobby Lashley's on the verge of murdering him. Then we got Rhea defending against Zelina. Zelina came out in like the Puerto Rican flag gear.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
her
Unbelievable.
family were at ringside. She got really emotional. Rhea looked amazing in like white and purple and black gear.
Dom on a bum.
And Dom Dom on a bum, but only Buddy's allowed to touch that. Um, and yeah, Rhea basically obliterated Zelina with a riptide.
Zelina did hit her with a flip-flop, though.
She did. Zelina hit her with a flip flop that she got off her mum. And then there was a really good hope spot where she hit like the Malachi Black Dive and Meteora onto Rhea. And then as Zelina's kind of like going to follow up, Rhea hit like this weird like kick from the floor and just like kicked Zelina right in the face. And
I just realized this was like the House of Black divided match, wasn't it?
The wives.
As
the ladies
Aaron,
of the House of Black.
As Aaron called it, Rhea beat Zelina with the sex pin.
It is the sex pin. He's right.
Yeah,
I'm sure that Buddy and Malachi will have a fun conversation about that at the week at Dynamite this week. We then got Bad Bunny versus
the House of Black group chat's going to be fucking wild this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brody King's just going to be sat there giggling to himself as they're just having a awkward conversation. It's like Malachi's just like, Buddy, your wife, she tried to violate mine. There's a black stick on Buddy to punish him. But yeah, we got the San Juan street fight, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. This was fantastic. This was so much fun.
Better than it had like any more right to be.
Bad Bunny's awesome. Like he takes it seriously, and he like this was a testament to it. Don't forget like the amount of work Damian Priest had to put in to make sure this match went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
And for a celebrity, like Bad Bunny came out with like the shopping trolley full of weapons. He took a Michinoku driver through a table on like the outside, like. Yeah. And he just got like murdered with a chair at one point. Like Bad Bunny was putting in the work in this. As he looked like he was about to get the win, like he injured Priest's knee quite late on. Finn and Dominic came out. Dominic had matching gear to Damian and Rhea, and then Finn just had black pants with like a white scarf sticking out and white shoes. It was a bit disappointing. But yeah, as they're kind of like beating up Bad Bunny, Ray tries to even the odds, obviously 3 against 2. And then Carlito's music hit, which everyone went mental for because obviously it's in for Puerto Rico. Then Savio Vega came out. And then the LWO finally came to like basically just run off Judgment Day. And the only thing I'd actually criticize about this match was the finish because it just kind of come out of nowhere. Because Bad Bunny just hit Priest with the chair repeatedly, and then Canadian destroyed him, and that was it. But everything else, it was really fun. I
mean, imagine finishing a match with a Canadian destroyer. Don't people know it's a transitional move?
Exactly. But yeah, but apparently, off the back of this, there's talk of Bad Bunny having a match at SummerSlam. I'm all for it. Bad Bunny's great.
I love Bad Bunny. He's mad that like Carlito was up for the love of wrestling.
Yeah.
And then he's just there like.
Yeah. And he looked great. Apparently there's been talk of bringing him back full time as well.
He got really good reception, didn't he?
I'd be okay for Carlito's fun. Then there was Bloodline beating Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn and Riddle. Big thing from this was Solo and Jimmy nearly coming to blows.
Yeah.
Not Jimmy, sorry. Solo and Jay nearly coming to bros.
To bros? What, not Riddle?
To blows. Sorry, I just...
blows with bros.
I just saw Bro Derek on the screen. I got really upset. Yeah, I'm fucking done with this storyline. I'm really over it.
Yeah, as I said to you before, I think a lot of people, Jay, have been saying that it's not as fun without Sammy involved. Like now that Sammy's out the storyline, it's just people remember what it used to be.
The thing is, it's like you look at the kind of the Elite storyline because they're the two that get compared the most, aren't they?
Yeah,
and they don't like have it as a constant in AEW. Like Hangman will go off and do his own thing. The Bucks and Kenny will go off and do their own thing. And then every now and again, they'll kind of come to a convergence point where they're like, they cross paths. With this, it's literally been ongoing for 2.5 years, and not a whole lot's changed. It's felt like, obviously they brought Solo in, and they've always teased like dissension between like Jay and Jimmy and Roman and Solo, which feels like that's where they're going. But at the same time, it's just like they need to do something different with it. They need to either break up the group. They had the perfect opportunity to do that in the draft as well. Obviously, the Usos were separate from Roman and Solo. They could have had to put the Usos on Raw. They didn't. Yeah, this was a match. At least the only kind of sort of silver lining to this is at least like these like two groups are going to kind of go the separate ways. I believe Kevin and Sammy are now on Raw. I think Riddle might be on SmackDown, but I think Kevin and Sammy are on Raw. So at least we're not going to get bogged down with that. And then the main event, which is what I thought was probably going to start leading to the Cody Rhodes getting booed, was Cody versus Brock. Cody attacked Brock before the bell. They did a lot of brawling on the outside. And then essentially it was just Brock getting back to his feet when the weapons were took out and murdering Cody for a long time. On one of the Germans, Cody ripped the turnbuckle cover off. Brock then rammed himself face first into the turnbuckle cover and his face exploded.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was hard way, wasn't it? It was like, oh shit.
Oh, like it literally, like, because they had like the camera on the ring post like AEW do. So you saw Brock just charge into it, and then you saw as he hit it, like literally face planted into it. As he pulled away, his face was just red. Like,
and Cody's just like jealous as fuck. Like, it should have been me.
Should have been me.
Yeah. So Cody did the 2 consecutive crossroads, and Lesnar ended up getting him in a Kimura. After Cody kicked out with an F5. Cody managed to sort of like roll Lesnar up from the Kimura and steal a win, which made Cody look about as strong as a fucking light wind.
He got out the ring pretty quick as well, didn't he?
Yeah. So it was one of them. Like it was a fun match. Aaron said it best to me when we were watching it, that no matter what, you're going to be disappointed with the finish this, because they're never going to have Cody go clean over Lesnar.
Yeah.
He's gonna shit bag a win, which is what he did, which is fine, because it was fine. But yeah, that was Backlash.
Brock Lesnar got a standing ovation after the cameras were there as well.
Brock was stupid over in Puerto Rico. They loved him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is very good. It's just a shame he's also very part-time.
And what would you give it out of 10, Jay, if you have to put a number on it?
I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, fair.
I thought it was a fine show. It wasn't...
So below night 1, but above night 2?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Fair. And yeah, before we move on to AEW, anyone got any other business you want to talk about? Any other wrestling? Anyone Ring of Honor stuff going on?
And having a little chat about ROH.
As of yes.
I've seen some spoilers for upcoming Ring of Honor, which I'm not going to talk about on the podcast. But holy shit!
Well, I mean, one thing that was very good on Ring of Honor last week, which sort of felt like it was setting up a match for Forbidden Door, maybe, possibly, probably, was Claudio versus Robbie Eagles of the Mighty Don't Kneel.
Yeah.
Which was tremendous. But specifically after the bell, after Claudio won with what I can only describe as a criminal Ricola bomb.
Is that the one where he picked him off the floor?
He deadlifted him off the floor by his wrists.
Yeah.
And then just drilled him, and it was horrifying. Claudio basically said, "Oh yeah, I didn't get out of first gear, didn't break a sweat. Is that all you've got?" So I feel like we might get BCC versus the Mighty Don't Kneel at Forbidden Door.
What if that's
I would love to see that.
What if that's blood and guts?
That'd be cool.
Oh.
I mean, you just have like Danielson having like a technical classic with like Zack Sabre Jr. in the middle
of a cage.
in the middle of Claudio and Yuta and Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols just having a banger of a tag match.
And then they both just stop for a bit and like they both just stop and grind each other's faces on the cage for a bit.
Yeah, Mox and Bad Dude Tito just like murdering one another while Robbie Eagles sits in the corner and cries. But yeah, it was a very fun match. I really enjoyed that. Rocky Romero versus Lee Moriarty in a Pure Rules match was banging as well. It was real fun. Rocky basically outsmarted Lee by making him use all of his rope breaks and then applied like an armbar. And
yeah, he made him burn through them because he used the first one, like the first minute, didn't he? And like, he really made him burn through them real fast.
Like the first 10 seconds, quick.
It was so funny because he burned both of his rope breaks, and then Rocky just smacked him in the face and took his warning. And it was like, right, Rocky's just using all of his advantages.
I love how they're doing like non-pure title matches with Pure Rules as well, because it kind of keeps them in the picture.
Well, because the whole point was it because last week he cheated to win, so Rocky was like, right, if you want to fight me properly, fight me Pure Rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Ring of Honor, when they used to like when they were their own separate thing, they'd run just Pure Rules matches for the Pure division anyway. So
would they? Okay.
So it's cool that they're actually like doing this for obviously just to kind of create like a bit of a story around it. It's a cool way to do it. Also, Samoa Joe crimed Christopher Daniels.
Yes.
Poor CD's just not having a good time, as he like these past few weeks.
It was a very good match. There was a lot of kind of obviously Christopher Daniels is going to have a slight advantage against going in against Samoa Joe because he's wrestled him like I think Ian Riccaboni said it was like the 93rd.
Yeah, it was over 90 times they've wrestled in their careers, which is just madness.
Crazy.
And like it led to a really good story because obviously Joe was trying to like do certain things and Daniels had him scouted. Daniels went for the best moonsault ever and Joe like just killed him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really fun match. What else we got? Commando versus Angelico was amazing.
Yeah,
that was so much fun. Really enjoyed that. Yeah. And the 10-man as well was really fun. Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, Darius Martin, Action Andretti and Stu versus the Kingdom and the Varsity Athletes.
And nothing weird happened in the entire match.
Yeah, the Righteous came up like during the match.
First time they've done it during. It was the one after the match before. This is the first time while the match has been happening. And
they've done it before as well. Yeah, and then Stu gets out and like the Dark Order and Stu are having a stare down with the Varsity Athletes with the Righteous, and Action Andretti just manages to pick up the win out of nowhere. But what was cool was like the Righteous's music was playing over all the like everything was going on that was going on in the match. Like it was just playing through while Vincent was dancing like a weirdo at the top of the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting really invested in the storyline. Yeah. I really want to see Stu join the Righteous and then them just go on a tear against Evil, and Silver and Reynolds.
Because they just can't catch a break.
Yeah. I to be honest, I just want to see the Righteous like wrestle more because they're just so good. Like Dutch is one of the best big men like AEW have on their books, in my opinion. Vincent's just like
Righteous and House of Kings of the Black Throne together.
Nah, fuck that noise. Getting ready for that.
Give me the Righteous versus Butcher and the Blade. Put Butcher and the Blade in Ring of Honor and let him just run through everyone.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd like Kip in Ring of Honor as well, to be honest.
I saw a video before on I think Butcher put it up on Twitter of just every time I die, just fucking around in a pool in like 2006, and Butcher's just doing like moonsaults into the pool.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to watch that.
I wonder if Big Butch can still do that.
Something that I do want to catch though, like have you got any more Ring of Honor news?
I was just going to say the only other thing really to come of it, there's 3 women's matches, all very good. Sky Blue versus Robin Renegade, Willow versus Steph Delanda, which was really fun.
Oh, I really liked that. That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love as well Riccaboni doing his rap about Willow and talking over Steph Delanda getting announced and Nigel berating for it.
Oh, I love Nigel on commentary, he's such a gift.
And yeah, Athena defeated Angelica Risk, who is one of Cody's trainees. But yeah, out of that kind of thing, Sky Blue versus Athena become official, didn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
did yeah.
Which
Athena came out with like Sky Blue's hat and like threw it on the floor, and yeah, there was all sorts of
that was last week.
Yeah.
This was where Athena just got really angry at the girl interviewing her because Athena called her Lexi and she went, "I'm not Lexi," and she was like, "As I was saying, Lexi."
That was a really good promo. To be fair, I really enjoyed that.
Athena's awesome. Like, she's one of my favorites.
She's having the time of her life doing this like heel shit in Ring of Honor, and she's really enjoying it.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of kind of having Sky Blue as a viable next challenger, but Willow in the like kind of waiting in the background for whoever wins out of those two. Yeah, I'm really excited for the future of Ring of Honor.
Yeah. When's the next show?
Thursday, mate.
You know what I mean.
It's usually
is it
late
Supercard?
June.
Yeah.
Death Before Dishonor.
Oh, you did put this on. It's just been Supercard, hasn't it?
It's usually like either early June or early July. I think they might do it mid-July because that's
Forbidden Door.
I don't think they've announced it yet.
They haven't announced anything. I feel like they might do it like a few weeks after Forbidden Door.
Something that I do want to catch that's on Fight is a Wrestling Revolver show they had.
I've just seen the card for that.
Yeah.
I clicked on it by mistake when I was trying to get the results up.
So the card for it is a dream death match of Sami Callihan versus Masha Slamovich. John Moxley versus Jake Christ. Is that how you say?
Christ. Yeah.
Christ. There we go.
Ohio
World
Bloodbath.
Title match. Steve Macklin. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Versus Speedball.
Yes, please.
Alex Shelley versus Shigeru Irie. That's how you say that. You're right.
Shigiri.
Oh, is that how you say it? Okay.
Cole Roderick's best friend.
Yeah. Has he just gone back to Japan from like?
Shiggy. He's based in Germany.
All right. I know because Cole just put up a thing about him just leaving because they were staying together for a bit, weren't they?
Yeah. So he
thingy, isn't he? Is that him?
He's WXW champion. And then he does a lot of UK dates. Mostly
Pro, isn't he?
1PW. He got announced for
1PW,
against Luke Jacobs. And he does bits in DDT, but it's a strange one because he's not like
contractually signed.
He's not a guy who does a lot in Japan, despite obviously being Japanese. Well, very good wrestler.
So there's a trios match of Bullet Club, David Finlay, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin.
Bullet Club is fine.
The Rascals. Bullet Club is not fine. We don't need Bullet Club. We've got the Bang Bang Gang.
I guess so. I literally just before they did the podcast, saw someone on Twitter said they met ELP at an indie show, and like they went to get a picture with them, and their boyfriend was like, "So can you do the Too Sweet?" And he was like, "No." Like, "Can you do the finger guns?" And like, "No." And he's like, "Well, what can you do now?" And he's like, "I don't know."
Oh,
the LP is a menace.
He's trying to right all his wrongs, and it's very lovely. Lince Dorado and Rocky Romero were also a match for that as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 4 Corners of Mayhem.
Wasn't that in a Lucha Death match as well? Lindsay versus Rocky.
It doesn't say the stipulations on the website, to be honest. There's a 4 Corners of Mayhem match, which is Rich Swann versus ELP versus Crash Jackson versus Damian Chambers. And then a grudge tag match of the unit. It's just JT Dunn and Ali Catch versus Jessica Carr and Matthew Palmer's. And then Marina Shavir's $5,000.
I was going to say Matthew Palmer's Athena's husband.
Oh, really? Oh,
and
yeah.
His gimmick is that he's a witcher. It's fucking amazing.
No, really?
Yeah, so I watched the Wrestling Revolver show where he was in like a scramble
I'm
match.
gonna have to look him up.
Madman Fulton tried to choke slam him and pulled like a potion out and drank it and it gave him super strength and then he body slammed him. It was fucking great.
So good.
The kind of nerdy shit we live for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
right.
doesn't really look like a Witcher, but yeah. But yeah, that I don't know who Marina Shafir's open challenge was, but it's a Marina Shafir match. I'm sure it'll be great because Mox really likes her style of wrestling and he does a lot of
Yeah,
coaching.
the Mox. I think Mox helped like Revolver. Like, well, Mox or something. When Mox was on like Renee's podcast, he said like the way that Revolver book her, or like the way he tells Revolver to book her, like is that she is like a murderer basically.
Yeah, it's Sammy Callahan's promotion, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it is literally like their pet. I think, to be honest, because he's like, well, I don't like to do the stuff that Sammy does with it. So I think it's like their promotion, but it's not, if that makes sense.
And I think Mox has got a bit of pull there, to be fair. So
they named a pay-per-view after him. So like,
yeah.
If you haven't watched that one, by the way, it's just Mox on commentary called A Night at the Moxbury. It's great.
I think I need
So
to see
good.
that. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like everything I want. Yeah. Should we get on to some A-Dub?
Yeah.
You've got a lot to talk about in the old world of Tony Khan. Should we talk about the news or should we talk about All In now? Like what?
Talk about the news. Well, no, talk about All In now because it ties in, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah. So since we last all did the podcast, All In tickets went on pre-sale like 5 times seemingly, and then on general sale. As Jay said at the start, we all got our tickets in the first pre-sale. The three of us, we are all on. We're not going to say which sections, but we are all on the first tier, the 100 section. So if you're on that section, there's a chance you might be sat near one of us. We do apologise.
if you see a girl crying whenever the elites say anything, you'll know it's me.
When CM Punk GTS's Nick Jackson into the sun.
Yeah.
Don't put that evil into the world, okay? Bad enough that I put it on my fantasy card.
When CM Punk pulls a chair out from under the ring and just launches it at Matt Jackson.
Can't do that. He's got baby eyes.
And just says, I was aiming for you when I hit Nick.
Yeah, so we're all going to be we all got our tickets in the first pre-sale, which was great because it was a fraught sort of 5 minutes. There are other friends, Discord members. We've got Dan from Sweet Humor Podcast. He's going to be there. We've got Joe from a lot of the guys from Damn It Vince are going to be there, aren't they?
I think all the guys from Damn It Vince are going to be there.
Everyone except Butcher, I think.
Yeah. Then your Faye's friend Nat got tickets as well with some of her mates.
All of Sweet Chin I got.
Because a couple of my friends. I mean, just looking on Twitter, like anyone who's anyone in wrestling, like British wrestling Twitter, seems to have got tickets. Like I know, Matthew got tickets. The Simpsons wrestling guy got tickets.
They've got some.
Yeah,
a couple of my friends on Tumblr have also got tickets.
Oh god, we don't need that. We don't need that either.
Don't worry about it. And What Culture, despite the fact that they love just shitting on AEW all the time.
Can't you, isn't it? We don't watch it.
I mean,
well, they probably can. To be fair,
I won't say what I was going to say. You know what I was going to say. But that's fine.
Yeah. So I mean, there hasn't been an official update for a little while, but tickets have passed 65,000 sold. Rumored to pass 70,000 sold. It's just insanity.
Rumors are saying there's less than 1,000 left.
I mean, that's big rumors.
When you go on Ticketmaster, though, it says there's only 700 and something choices left. When you go on the selection,
they haven't opened
site.
some of the sessions, are they? Like the behind the hard cam top tier, I think still haven't been opened. No,
I think as well when you like load it up, it only loads up between like a certain amount because obviously otherwise it just fry the website.
Yeah, but considering though we're still over 3 months out from the event and they haven't announced anything yet. So yeah, this is
2/3 of Wembley in 5 days. For anyone who was doubting like whether it would do well, I think that's kind of shut people up.
Yeah, even if they don't sell another ticket, like 70,000 fans at Wembley is going to be fucking ridiculous. It's going to be so good. Just think of like all the moments, like singing along to Judas, chanting Scissor Me Daddy, I mean, you got to start thinking, what T-shirt do you wear? Like, do you do like
I
costume
know.
changes? Do you take a
I
backpack to
know.
like costume changes?
You're not allowed a bag in there, mate. Remember?
Just a carry bag, mate, to be fine.
A thick layer
I'll
of
just
t-shirts.
wear like 6 and just rip them like one at a time.
Are you gonna get sesame foam fingers?
If
No,
they
I'm
are
gonna
selling
get an
them,
elite hand.
I'm going to buy some sesame foam fingers. But you have to buy 2 though. You can't just have one.
Well,
So
I was gonna.
I'll have to
I
buy
was gonna
Sarah
get
one as
2.
well.
I was gonna get 2 and then give Aaron one to have for like the show. I'm sure that.
Take it back afterwards, but no, I'm having that back. Just
Oh yeah, take it back.
it's like 15
Courtney
quid,
will
mate.
hate it.
I'm having that back.
Yeah, at least I get to see Aaron going through a PTSD when Judas comes on.
Oh, please film that for us.
I will. Well, funnily enough,
Oh, Troy's there as well. Troy's got tickets.
What is it then?
when we were
It's a-
watching Backlash, Ryan said if Cody wins, he'll listen to Cody's entrance music on loop for 4 hours. And Aaron's gonna set up a stream for it, so he has to do it.
Oh,
Didn't Aaron do that with Judas
perfect.
one time?
Yeah, he did.
That's why Aaron's got like
Yeah.
bad PTSD.
Play silly games. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm obviously really looking forward to it. All in, can't wait. I really hope they've got some good merch, and I really hope the whole merch situation isn't fucked. I hope you can actually get a T-shirt because they're gonna have like an All In T-shirt, aren't they? And I really want one of them.
I feel like
their t-shirt.
I feel like they'll do what like WWE do for WrestleMania, where they have like merch spots around the like outside of the stadium as well as within.
Oh, like
They have a
trailers and
village,
stuff.
don't they? They've got
Yeah, well,
in the box park. They've got a.
Yeah, but you got to pay
a
20
place
quid to get in there.
I paid 50 to see them on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's because there's wrestlers there. On the Sunday, it's just a merch table and a DJ, and you pay 20 quid.
oh really?
Not
Aaron's got
RJ there.
Yeah, so because we were going to get them, because obviously I'm not there on Saturday, she's got the tap room. So Sarah's going on the Saturday because she wants to meet the wrestlers. I was going to go to meet wrestlers on the Sunday if they were there, 'cause I was still holding out a thin hope that I might ever one day meet Eddie Kingston. And I looked at it, and it was like 50 quid on the Saturday for meet and greets, and then 20 quid on the Sunday for exclusive merch access and DJs. And I was like, well, fuck that.
It'll be like what it was with the other ones that were on the Sunday. They do like they'll
tasty.
have like an RJ episode and that.
I was gonna say I reckon they'll have RJ City in there.
That'd be fun, like if they did. Well, maybe announce that.
They've all
then.
sold out now, though.
Maybe announce that, and I would have bought a fucking ticket.
He's the one I really want to meet the most, to be honest with you.
Yeah, speaking of, before we get into Dynamite proper, has anyone? I know it's only just been on.
Dynamite proper.
Is
that what Danny Proper's going to be calling himself?
When he debuts in AEW, yeah, it's Dynamite proper.
Is that not like Lee Dawson and Danny Proper's tag team?
Has anyone seen Hikaru Shida on AEW?
Yes, it's
Not
so
yet.
charming.
It's hilarious.
It's so good.
I got a text off Nat yesterday morning just saying Hikaru Shida's so cute, and I was like, "What?"
When RG gives her a list of like English phrases to read out, and the last one is "That doesn't work for me, brother."
It's the fact that like she just doesn't know how to take RJ at all. And like
I love her.
when he's doing when he's doing like the Broadway dancing with a kendo stick, and he gets her to try and do it, and she accidentally hits him in the balls.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, let's go into Dynamite because we started out with Roddy Strong's AEW in-ring debut. Roddy, Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy, and Bandito.
I mean, the fuck we doing here? Why have we got like Roderick Strong versus Daniel Garcia solos announced yet?
Not yet. We'll get there.
Oh shit! Actually, I've just remembered something. Which kind of ties into this match from Ring of Honor. With Spanish announced team were attacking Commander, and Orange and Bandito made the save.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy's just collecting luchadors now. That's like a thing.
Orange Cassidy is bringing in like best. What's best friends in Spanish? Bueno amigos.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
That'll work. Yeah. Yeah, but Orange Cassidy just collecting luchadors like Pokemon. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really super fun match.
It was really cool.
This match was phenomenal. Yeah. You know, you've got Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong didn't actually get to do much because most of it was just Cassidy and Bandito having a good old time.
Most of it was just Roderick Strong coming in, murdering people with backbreakers, and then
leaving.
like there was a bit where Bandito did a dive, and Roderick Strong was like at ringside, but in the background, and he went over like applauding, going, "Yeah, that was awesome."
Yeah, that was so good. Yeah.
Bandito.
Oh my God, when he caught was it Danny Garcia he caught?
Roddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably because he's not that big.
Oh no, sorry, it wasn't. It was Jake that caught. It was Jake that caught Bandito.
Yeah.
That was terrifying.
I said to Big Tasty when we were watching this, is Bandito like a secret hoss?
Yes, because he's strong AF. Like
he's strong as fuck. He's quite swole, but then he can just like do like silly high flying stuff. And you're like, how the fuck you done that?
Yeah.
I mean, Bandito hit like a delayed vertical suplex on Angelo Parker, which was just insane.
Yeah. Yeah, this was really fun. The finish was cool as well, where obviously Roddy hit like the jumping knee, and then Cole like pretty much seamlessly hits the boom on Daddy Magic.
It's nice to see they haven't lost a step, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then straight after like the second the was counted, Cole just like runs to like murder Jericho.
I love that. It's like he just can't get out the ring fast enough, and Jericho's like, "What's he doing?" And he just comes straight for him and just decks him, takes him right off his chair.
I love that the way they were like Jericho was looking at his monitor, just shouting like, "Adam Cole this, Adam Cole that," and then he looks and goes, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this match. I didn't think I could get that excited about Jericho having a match with Adam Cole, but
here we are.
Well, I knew I'd get excited, but I didn't think I'd get super excited. But now I'm like, yeah, totally sold.
I feel like we say this about every single one of Jericho's matches, you know? We're like, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. And then it happens, and we're like, oh, shit, no, this is really good.
So then we had like a really quick Darby and Juggernaut promo, which is fine. And then afterwards, we carried on. It was, so I said, this was like a throwback to like the Eddie Kingston CM Punk, where they're just like, they're just fighting all the time.
Yeah.
Because they went to the back and like Jericho and Cole were just fighting backstage again.
Yeah, and then Britt just like runs in, smacks Jericho, and rips his shirt off.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it was great.
Bitch Jericho, she called him.
Jericho had the Brit shirt with the black eye,
Yeah. Next up, we had a very interesting BCC promo. Danielson with some very specific words.
Oh, yes.
Danielson was calling out No Chill Phil, wasn't he?
Well,
oh, man, give me that.
You go with Bret Hart. Yeah. Not as amateur, like smacking your boss after a pay-per-view.
I feel like this was kind of Danielson like throwing a BCC member's name into the hat for the Owen. Mox then cut like an absolute ice cold promo about that cage match with Kenny that Kenny's gonna die.
Remember when Moxie was doing this? Remember Moxie was just cutting fire promos all the time, and now he's just doing it again.
Yeah.
And Danielson's like as well. I was so good at them. Like you forget how good he is because he's just like such an angry little shit.
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, I'm fully invested in BCC again now. Like fully.
Perfect.
Next up, we had Saraya versus Willow. I really enjoyed this. Anytime you see Willow is a good time, but Saraya, I think it's a really good match from Saraya as well. Yeah, not the longest match. There was some fuckery with Ruby, which let Saraya hit. What do they call it? Good night.
The nightshade, isn't it?
There's nightshade and good night. Nightshade's like the package DDT, isn't it?
No, that's good night. And then there's nightcap, which is the like swing and Samoan drop. Yeah.
It was the page turner and the rampage, wasn't it? But obviously we're not allowed to use those words anymore. So
yeah. Yeah, this was a fun match. I really liked the swerve at the end.
Well, we'll talk about that. So yeah, after the match, obviously it's beat down time, it's break hand time, and then Sheeta comes out to make the save. Except she doesn't. She hugs she hugs Saraya, she hugs Ruby, she hugs Tony. But then as she's like getting ready to spray paint them, she's sort of taking a little too long, and she's sort of like stalling for time a little bit. And as she's doing that, Britt and Hayter appear behind them in like looking fucking baller as fuck in their hoodies.
She looked, yeah, I know, so good.
Like they have to murder them. It was great, and then they do murder them, which was great. Yeah, and then they spray paint AEW on the three women, on the three outcasts, which was cool. And then so Sheeta's back, and then she's like screaming that she's an AEW original, and I like that. Yeah, that was great.
And Saraya putting up on Twitter like afterwards, what the fuck, Saraya? Like Sheeta, so funny.
Next up, it's House Rules.
Yeah, boy. I'm so excited for this. So House of Black, they throw down the trios titles and say these belts are cursed, which makes me think we might be getting like new belts.
Well, they are. They showed at
I'd
the end.
like that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They had new ones in the graphic at the end. They're like silver.
I need to rewatch this.
Yeah, they said these belts are tainted. They're proof that you can be rewarded for breaking the rules.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, House Rules challenges are as follows: any three wrestlers can form a team and challenge them. 20 count ring outs, which just plays into House of Black, just criming everyone at ringside.
Yeah.
No rope breaks and optional DQs.
It's their choice. It's the challenger's choice whether they have DQs on it.
Yeah, and then the first one is going to be, is it Best Friends and someone?
Best Friends and Commander or Bandito. I can't remember who.
I think it was Bandito.
Either way, it's going to be It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
Woody and Bandito needs to happen as a singles match as well at some point, any point, please.
Then they had a big trios battle royal, which was really fun. Ended up being the Acclaimed versus Butcher the Blade and Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
Butcher carrying on being the battle royale linchpin.
Yeah.
But no, the Acclaim picked up the win, which is good. I think they need. I want to see them have a little trios run because I think like that's obviously they had the tag team titles, didn't they? And then they've sort of been a bit lost since they finished that. So putting them back on a slightly different track, I think, is a really nice way to reinvigorate them.
Yeah, it feels like they're kind of building up Thaddeus and the Acclaim maybe for a match with the House of Black at Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Do a black sick on Billy Gunn, please.
Do a black sick on Billy Gunn and he turns back into Rockabilly.
Turns back into the One.
Oh, God.
He becomes a cowboy again, tries to reform the Smoking Guns with Hangman.
Oh my God, no. Stop it.
Next up, we had a really good Kenny and Don Callis promo. Oh no, before that, we had Sammy and MJF, didn't he?
Sammy and MJF being best friends. No, thank you.
And I love this. Sammy was like, dude, I checked in that car. It was empty. Like, you could have easily given me a lift home. And MJF was like, oh no, I was really dizzy. I had to lie down. I needed the whole back seat for myself. And then Sammy's like, oh yeah, I believe you. Don't worry, it's fine. But
it was top shithousery from MJF here, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then it was a really good Kenny and Don Callis promo. Talking about Moxley, like I think you said it the other week, Faye, didn't you? Like Moxley and Kenny is like the feud that's like ran through the middle of AEW like ever since it started.
Did you see Will Washington's tweet about it? Obviously, first of all, congratulations, Will Washington, for being all elite. Very good acquisition, as his whole job is basically about continuity. And I think this was like one of the first things he did was to get this match made, and he just said like John Moxley and Kenny Omega is like a feud that's kind of like been from the origin of AEW.
Has he got my dream job?
Pretty much, yeah. I think all of our dream jobs, to be honest.
Just be online and fix continuity in wrestling.
Well, yeah, that's literally it. So he works hand in hand with Tony Khan, and he makes sure that people who are in storylines are visible on TV every week, and that there's continuity, which is great. I mean, I don't know if either of you have listened to any of Will's podcasts. The guy's like a fucking encyclopedia of wrestling.
Love that.
He makes us look like we know fuck all. Let's put it that way.
Also, might maybe get a Swerve push as well. It's like, I think Swerve should win the world title for no reason.
Remember that when
continuity reasons?
Yeah.
Remember Swerve's like debut match in AEW, and we were all like, "Yeah, Swerve should be world champion now."
We're getting there. He's got to finish off Keith Lee first.
Yeah, he's an amazing.
He has won a title. He's been tag champ, so you know.
Yeah. With this Kenny promo, like, it not only does it make like obviously the Kenny and Mox thing seem like a big deal, it still had that whole like Don Callis trying to be a piece of shit and talking
Well,
to Kenny take away from the moment. Like,
well, Don deliberately didn't put over the Elite. He put over Kenny Omega.
yeah.
And when Kenny tried to bring up the Elite, Don just shut him down.
Yeah.
So almost as if Kenny's going to do a betrayal on the books.
Yeah. He said he's going to get mocked all hot and bothered as well, which made me laugh.
Yeah.
Next up, then,
Kenny like a fucking great.
Next up, we had our weekly Wardlow squash, which was fine. Afterwards, this is interesting. He calls out Luchasaurus and says he wants the match right now. He doesn't want to wait. And then Cage is like, no, we're not doing it in Baltimore. It's a shithole. Everyone boos him. And then, interestingly, he says, oh, by the way, the title shot's not Luchasaurus's, it's mine.
Do you think we're going to get Christian versus Wardlow at Double or Nothing?
I think we're going to get Christian winning that TNT title.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it. I'd totally be okay with it.
I saw a meme, and it was just like Christian when he finds out that Wardlow's dad is also dead.
Yeah, I've seen that one as well. I think Pete sent me that one.
Oh, poor Wardlow.
So yeah, I really would like Christian to win that title. I think it'd be and then hold it for like a year, like Samoa Joe's done with the TV title.
Have Christian like just busting out like awesome matches because he does. Whenever he does wrestle, he has good matches. He just doesn't wrestle often anymore because obviously he's made out of glass these days.
Guess what? You can lose it to Jungle Boy in like 8 months' time.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it fucks up my fantasy booking when it finally comes out, but, you know, I'm here for it.
Don't worry about it. Next up, then, Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson.
Whoa!
Sorry. I forgot.
How dare you?
I forgot this happened this week, until I just read it here. I absolutely forgot this happened this week, which is mad. I thought it was like 2 weeks ago. It just feels like it happened fucking forever ago.
You nearly glossed over not only a Papa Briscoe cameo, but Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt in overalls.
Yes, and Jeff Jarrett playing guitar.
I forgot that this was.
This was Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sanjay, and Satnam visiting Mark Briscoe at the farm and offering to help out around the farm, which was great. You had like Sanjay on a tractor, like driving a tractor. You had like all sorts. Satnam Singh used to work on a farm.
You had Jarrett on a lawnmower.
Yeah, oh, it was great. And like they were like, what were they doing?
A cinematic match on the farm.
They were talking. Have you seen the Briscoes fight on the farm?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I need to watch it.
We talked about it, didn't we? Like the Jay Briscoe Memorial episode we did. Oh mate, it's so much fun. It's on YouTube. Ring about to put it for free. It's so good. This was really good. This was really good fun. It was like Satnam holding like Monomark's kids, like little baby. Just keeping them all right. At the end, it all ends with them sitting around and Jarrett's playing a song on the guitar, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, Mark, can you give us some like tactics for FTR?"
Yeah,
because that's what they're after. And then Papa Briscoe is like, and as they all go off, Papa Briscoe is like to Mark, like, "Don't trust that Indian in the overalls," and he's like, "Which one?" He's like, "Both of them."
Oh my god!
I love Papa Briscoe. He's fucking hilarious. It's mad that Papa Briscoe's like a better promo than like so many other wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like a fight at the farm, a little promo he does at the end. It's like, yeah, Papa Briscoe's the best.
It's at the end, like, so they have this big match. I don't think, does it even end in a pin? I can't remember, but it ends with like Papa Briscoe saying to them.
Doesn't it end like with him saying like he's done now? And
he's like, he guys goes to me, you both right with each other, and they're like, yeah, and he's like, good, I'll clean this shit up, and just walks off.
Yeah, tells them to go win the tag titles.
You know what else is another good one? When the Good Brothers go to the farm to look after them to look for them as well when they're in Impact. Like, that's so good. And they try and beat up Papa Briscoe.
Jay trying to fucking murder Doc Gallows with a pitchfork.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's all right. Next,
we now talk about Juice and Ricky.
Juice and Ricky, really good match. Yeah, I think Juice and Starks work really well together. I think they've got really good chemistry. I think that their styles really complement each other.
That slam that Ricky did to Juice off the stairs.
Oh yeah,
was a war crime. It really was.
Yeah,
when he just like walked up the steps, just like slammed off onto the floor. It was just like, yeah.
that made me so big sad. But it's fine because he's a Muppet, so like he's all soft and stuff.
He's just made of like rags.
He's got no in. It's just stuffing.
Yeah, Ricky won with a spear and then Rochambeau, which great. After the match, King Switch runs in, about to hit a Blade Runner. Stark sort of like gets out of it, and he's gonna spear him, doesn't he? But then like they get out the ring and do a runner.
I can't wait for that match.
He reversed the Blade Runner into Rochambeau, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I love about the Blade Runner, though, is that it is like it's such a reversible move, and also it's also a move that can be reversed into from a lot of other moves as well. I think that's why I like how versatile it is.
Then we had a preview of the Hardy Compound, which we'll talk about in a second, for Firm Deletion. And that before I saw the main event, we had that really intriguing promo where like MJF tries this like last shot. There's a nice little Hail Mary where it's like, right, he tries to get Jungle Boy or Jack Perry to he basically tells him, the only thing you can do tonight is embrace the dark side. If you do, you give him a spot next to him, basically, which is like it was the Return of the Jedi Emperor power play, wasn't it? It was like, come on, come next to my side, embrace the hate.
It was great the fact that Darby walked in.
Squash
that was on a Rampage, wasn't it?
Rampage. I think everything's flowing into one.
Yeah, but Darby walked in and he was like, "Ooh, you're a bit sus, aren't you?"
Yeah. He was like, "I'll just talk about your tag partner." Just talking about your tag partner. Walked out.
And then the match, so this was Darby and Jack versus MJF and Sammy. If Darby and Jack win, they get a 4-way match, double or nothing. And yeah, this was really, really fun. It had a bit of everything, didn't it? It was it told a lot of story. There was a lot of like interaction. Darby and Jack like didn't trust each other, and then you had the breakdown of MJF and Sammy's relationship as well.
Oh, and it was a lot of glory hunting as well, wasn't it, between the two teams?
Yeah.
Like wanting to get the pin. A lot of Jungle Boy and Darby and Sammy just doing insane things, and then MJF sticking to his tweet by not doing any dives at all through the ropes.
Yeah.
The finish to this was fantastic as well. So MJF slaps Sammy. Sammy then like super kicks MJF out the ring, and Jungle Boy tags in, hits is it the elbow he hit on?
I think so, yeah.
It wasn't
and
the
then
snare trap.
But Darby had tagged himself in and literally barely missed Jungle Boy with a coffin drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even try and get him out the way.
The whole point was he just died. He just went straight away. Like he didn't care the Jungle Boy was there. He just went to hit the move, and like Jungle Boy had to throw himself out the way to like avoid it.
Yeah.
Like he would have pinned all of them because he said that, didn't he? He said all bets are off. Anything goes.
Yeah. Now we've got the match announced. I think it's going to be a little bit more exciting with how full throttle it's going to be.
We're there now. We've got, like you say, we've got the match like ready to go. Maybe we just need to do the keep it hot, which I'm sure we can do. So obviously, we get the 4-way. Jungle Boy and Darby win, and that's the end of that. There was no sting in the tail. There was no Darby and MJF was just like apoplectic, wasn't he?
Yeah, you saw it on Rampage.
We did. Well, we'll pop up to Rampage now and we'll carry on. And so Rampage, that show that like not a lot of people watch. And here we go, Lucha Brothers and Vikingo versus Powerhouse Hobbs, Keith Marsh and Aaron Solo. Just a casual Penta, Fenix, and Vikingo match on first. And this started like super early as well, so like no one in America would have watched it.
Mm-hmm. This was at
5:30 Eastern. It was at 11:30 here.
11 UK time, yeah. Which it was nice to watch it at a normal time before I could go to bed, which was lovely.
Thanks, Tony.
This match was just.
I watched it on Saturday because I was in the cinema when this was on.
Well, this match was great. It was just a showcase for the Lucha Brothers and Vikingo, wasn't it? Which was excellent.
Yeah.
And Hobbs.
Hobbs
looked like an absolute murderer throughout this match. The QT and Aaron Solo set up a table on the outside. And then that's kind of what cost them the match because Hobbs was basically trying to just eat the soul of Alex Abrahantes. And couldn't get in to make the save after Solo got hit with the fear factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a really fun match. I enjoyed it.
Although, as the Lucha Brothers were winning, Hobbs was just choking Alex Abrahams to death on the outside.
Yeah.
Which was
It
fun.
was so good.
Because Harley got involved, didn't she, with and then Alex sort of got involved with her, and then Hobbs was like, well, no, don't you touch her, and then I choked the shit out of him. Yeah, which was fun. Next up, then we had the MJF like going nuts backstage, like throwing stuff around, like screaming, like beating people up.
Yeah. Almost losing his belt, and he'd
throwing
on it.
Throwing an absolute tantrum everywhere.
Next up, we had Chris Jericho. Was this meant to be a Punk thing?
Nah, I think it was just Jericho being a prima donna.
He basically said he wasn't going to be commentating on Rampage because of Adam Cole's attack. He needs assurance that Cole won't be around, and he's going to address it more on Dynamite.
I mean, it might be because apparently the first feud for Punk when he's back as Jericho.
Yeah.
So it might be that Jericho's like acting like this now, so he can kind of accuse Punk of it when he comes back.
Yeah. Next, you had
Shit, I just realised we're probably getting Jericho versus Punk at All In, aren't we?
That's wild.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's more likely at All Out.
You think?
Yeah. If it's a long running feud, I think it's more likely to be All Out.
It's Chicago, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next, we had Jay Cargill versus Jay Scott. It was a 30-second squash, but yeah, fine.
Just give me Chris. Give me Chris.
Yeah.
It's almost at 60.
It is, yeah.
57 and 58 and 0 now, isn't it? Or 57?
57.
Next up, then we had Mark Briscoe versus Preston Vance. I loved this match. I thought this was superb. I've not seen a lot of Preston Vance lately, but I thought this was a really good showcase for him.
Hey, we got 2 Preston Vance matches this week.
Yeah,
got a lot of them
on Ring of Honor,
haven't we?
Yeah, Preston looks better every time we see him. Mark Briscoe is just a blast. I love the way Tony Schiavone just loves Mark Briscoe.
Yeah,
like, the way he's like, if you don't like Mark Briscoe, you don't like wrestling. I'm like, yeah, that's an absolute
exactly
fact.
Mark Briscoe hit Jay Driller as well on Preston, which is impressive.
Yeah, it was cool the fact that like his family were all ringside. It was down the road from Sandy Hook.
Yeah, it was in Baltimore, was it? Just up the road.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, and after the match, they all got in the ring, including Papa Briscoe, which was nice to see.
Yeah, and it was either his mum or his auntie when she was like, "I'm not getting up with the security guy." Go on.
Yeah,
so cute.
Yeah, it was great. Gotta love Mark Briscoe. He's just awesome, isn't he?
Yeah, and Preston Vance, give Preston Vance his props. He was amazing in this match. He really helped a lot. Like made it real good match.
Working in this match for sure.
Yeah. Next up, Dustin Rhodes was getting interviewed, and he was excited because Dynamite was coming to Austin, which is his hometown. Then Brian Cage decks him from behind. Swerve appears, basically says they'll see him in 2 weeks, and then Keith Lee is like, well, what's happening? And they all ran off. Then we had a really good Anna Jay promo, I thought.
Yeah. And Julia.
Yeah. Anna Jay was like, yeah, Julia, you used to be fun, you used to be cool, then you changed, you went all spooky.
They were really close, weren't they? Like on vlogs and stuff as well.
Yeah, they showed like loads of clips of them like hanging out backstage and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm really excited for this no DQ match that got announced for next week.
Yeah.
And they've come on so much as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anna Jay said she hated what Julie's become, which is this is pushing the House. I mean, they already are kind of. This is pushing the House of Black like further into like face territory, isn't it? Because obviously,
I think I think that obviously they're more like tweeners, but I think House of Black are very much like top baby faces at this point, aren't they?
They're just too popular, aren't they, to be fully booed?
I like cool heels.
Yeah. Next up, then we had some announcements. So Dynamite. We won't even talk about it because it's fucking ridiculous. It's like a pay-per-view basically.
That's what they're calling it, isn't it? That's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Claudio versus Phoenix in a double Jeopardy match. The winner gets a future title shot for the other's title.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Phoenix holding at the minute.
Ring of Honor titles.
Love that.
Then you've also got Orange Cassidy, Danny Garcia, international title. Obviously got the Moxie cage match with Omega. They've put like a load of other banger matches on as well. It's fucking ridiculous. Too many to mention. Next up then, we had the main event, Firm Delusion.
Does anybody else feel right at the start of this match felt like the fucking Blair Witch.
Well,
I think that was the point.
when they just
Oh
drive,
my god!
when they were just like
Yeah.
driving through the woods. So
Yeah.
what you didn't see, Jay, at the start, they had a bit they cut where they Lexi introduced like the two referees.
I did wonder why Caprice Coleman was just randomly a guest ref.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'm probably gonna. I'll probably do it after I finish the podcast. To be honest, go and watch.
Oh, it's so good.
So most
What
of the
bits did they have on the
most
the? 'Cause I've only seen
of
it.
the stuff they cut was at the start, like little bits where like little extra bits of dialogue between like the firm before they got into the match, and then there were just a few extra shots of like mostly Stokely just like ad-libbing basically.
Yeah.
I
loved when
Stokely was the
when he-
best part of this whole thing. He was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I was gonna say I loved him when he went into Matt Hardy's cinema. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna put on Coming to America."
Yeah, I wonder if he's got coming to America on this.
Oh my god!
And he like grabs the bottle of Gatorade and he's like, "Ah, some good." That's it. So when
It
like
says he's got cheap snacks. Didn't
yeah, so
he?
yeah, in the regular cut, you go see him walking down with the Gatorade, and the extended cut, you see him like look at like a pile of snacks, like cheap snacks, and just grabs the Gatorade.
I love
Gothic
Stokely.
Baby was great. So
Yeah.
good.
Gothic Baby was there. Rebby Hardy like wrestling again, which was kind of weird and
Hey.
cool.
Her Twist of Fate was so good.
Yeah.
Also,
Obviously, Vanguard 1 was
Jeff-
back,
yeah,
And Senor
Jeff
Benjamin.
and Senor Benjamin.
actually trying to murder Big Cass was weird.
Yeah,
Like
he just
genuinely trying to
choking
kill
him,
him.
choking him with a piece of wood. It was like
Yeah.
Senor Benjamin just tasing. I popped so hard for Senor Benjamin coming back, like just tasing Stokely. Wow, like
Repeatedly though. He
Yeah.
got tased while he was in the wheelchair.
so if you notice, Rebby had a pink taser.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was just
love
like,
it.
it's not a wheelchair, chair with wheels.
Joe with wheels.
Cheer with wheels, of course, yeah.
It was so
I-
good.
Yeah, I loved I loved Orgasmic Zay.
I hated that so much.
You'd come.
Oh, it was awful.
Just like when,
The
because like
zoom out was so unnecessary.
They
Like
were-
when he was like doing it on top of the container as well.
they were about to burn watches all the Hardys, weren't they? And then like you just heard like the bat signal, just like he was like I think he was like on top of the building, and it was just,
It was the fact they put like distortion on it as well to make it sound worse. So
Oh,
upset.
it's awful.
also we missed earlier on Stokely almost getting run over by Maxwell in a little car,
Yeah, and Wolfie.
which was great. Stokely getting legitimately beaten up by Wolfie and Maxwell as well, which was great.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Shouting,
wasn't it?
Tony Khan will pay for his crimes as he just like disappears under the
Yeah.
under the kids.
Oh,
Have you heard Stokely's interview with Jericho yet?
No, not yet. No.
No.
Oh, it's fucking fantastic. I think it came out last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
And
I can't wait to show Matthew this match.
ba-
it's amazing.
Also,
yeah, basically Stokely is really good friends with Dax Howard.
Oh, right.
And when he left WWE, like basically Dax said to Tony, Stokely's free, we should maybe try and get him in. And Tony's response was absolutely, we should get it done. And like he got him signed up like immediately.
love
Yeah.
him. He did a great stand-up comedy gig not long after he got released, didn't he?
Yeah.
Him and RJ City are involved in one of like the best things I think WWE's ever put out. It's on their YouTube channel called WrestleMania After Dark, and I think it was the pandemic WrestleMania. So it was like after night one, they had like a sort of it was like a talk show, but it was deliberately shit. So
Oh God.
you had Stokely like as the man on the scene at the performance center. It's like RJ City's like, and we're going to Stokely Hathaway now. It's a man on the street at the performance center, and Stokely's just like grinning into the camera, like, well, as you can see, nobody's here, just me. And like Dexter Loomis like comes up in the background and chokes him out.
Oh my God.
And it just keeps going back to like it's like a horror film of like Stokely like trying to hide from Dexter Loomis.
That sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to catch that.
But the other thing as well, which is amazing on it, is RJ interviewing Kevin Owens, but he's prepped for it to be the Honky Tonk Man. So all his questions for Kevin Owens are questions for the Honky Tonk Man.
Oh my god.
It's so good. I'm so glad those two are in AEW.
I really love like one of his early things as well when he was like the whistleblower in the MJF documentary.
Yeah, yeah.
If you've ever seen, yeah, I'm sure we talked about this. Faye. There's an MJF documentary which is meant to be like him out of character, like
But it's not, is it?
but it's not. It's
Like,
him
at all?
in character, like pretending to be out of character, and it's phenomenal.
It's
like-
like the film Creep, if you've seen
Oh,
that,
really?
but MJF instead of like a rich like recluse being a nutter.
He's like hired like an Airbnb, and like there's a cat in there which he pretends is his cat, but it hates him and it doesn't want to go near him.
Oh my god. Which is weird.
Yeah.
He's a cat person.
Yeah. But like Stokely is like a whistleblower, like a deep throat whistleblower. So you see him in like a car park, like in like shadow, like talking through a voice distorter. Like
But it's
the
obvious
way-
for him.
It's the way he keeps like dipping out of the shadows so you can see it's him there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the guy who did that actually has just put out a new documentary on Either Surreal, which I'm going to check out when you finish
yes, I just saw that today. Yeah, go up on Twitter. Yeah, need to watch that.
it. Also, the one he did with Orange Cassidy, it's only about 10 minutes. It's really good. Worth a watch. Kenny Johnson documentaries on YouTube.
Thank you. I was like, I don't know who this person is, so
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I'll send you a link to the MJF one after this fight.
it's
thank you very
phenomenal.
much.
So go back to the end of the deletion match then. Yeah, Maxwell hits a swanton on Stokely, which is incredible. And then as he's celebrating, Rebby's like, "Yeah, come on, it's bedtime. We need to go now." And they just go and leave him in the middle of the ring.
I love the way, like, at the end, it was like the trials of Ethan Page.
Yeah,
Where they
there
were
was
like,
there was
"You
like
did this."
there was a really heartfelt bit as well where Matt Hardy was like, "We could have been really good friends in different
Yeah.
circumstances," and it's like, "Oh, that's quite touching." You know, that's quite heartfelt. And then everyone just fucking murders him.
Even the refs.
Yeah,
I hope this leads to Scorpio Sky going back on and getting Men of the Year versus the Hardys.
Yes, I would love that.
I really want.
Then after the match, Jeff just runs out the building and sets a big fire, sets his logo on fire, and does a sex face.
I
Yeah.
love that Jeff just leaves like things. That's like his meme now.
He's like, he just won. I actually now need to set something on fire. Sorry, I need to go. And it's just like,
Erratic behavior.
yeah. And yeah, that's it. They all celebrate in the fire as the show goes off the air. Well, what a fucking show that was. I don't know where I'd place it. I still think like the final deletion is the masterpiece. That's still like top for me.
Yeah, Final Deletion's the masterpiece. Although Apocalypto's very good.
What Tag Team Apocalypto?
Tag Team Apocalypto. And Delete or Decay is also very good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else they've done. 'Cause
I
they've done another one.
didn't hate the
The
Sammy one.
the one with Bray was all right.
Yeah.
But the only issue I had with that was that WWE put like an apology out before they put it on.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck's the point in that?
He
But
did,
this was a solid addition to the Matt Hardy universe, I thought.
mhm.
Like just Stokely
They
there.
weren't involved in the Sting and Derby one, were they?
No.
Matt Hardy? No.
Just the sheer fact that that Stokely was in it means it can't possibly be bad because
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Stokely. He's my guy.
Those
right.
bumps that they were taking on the grass maybe went.
Shout out to Big Bill as well because he was putting some work on this. He was like just throwing people everywhere, getting like jumped on, getting choked, choking people out. He put a shift in with this one, and props to Big Cass for being in a final deletion match in 2023 because who the fuck saw that
Yeah.
coming?
Also, Lee Moriarty's Bruce Lee tracksuit was top notch,
So
Yeah.
gorgeous, wasn't it?
top tier. Big fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
It was very good.
Right, should we move on to some news?
Yes.
Yeah, something has come out not that long ago on Fightful Select actually, which is quite interesting. So, essentially, obviously, like Nick Khan's kind of big whole vision for WWE is to make it like a global brand and do like big pay-per-views or premium live events, as they call it nowadays, in different markets. Obviously, they've just done Puerto Rico for Backlash. They're doing Money in the Bank next month for in London. They apparently have had serious conversations about doing one in Australia.
All right.
Yeah. So
big Bronson Reed energy.
Oh, imagine Bronson Reed's like just murders Cody in like Australia.
Imagine
finish his story.
Yeah, the Rhea pop.
Yep.
So yeah, that's quite interesting. Also, another thing that Fightful put up, which is very intriguing, is that the Deathmatch King himself, Matt Cardona, is done with Impact for the time being.
All right.
Yeah.
Too many belts. Is that what it is?
He's been teasing on Twitter, like where he's going to end up next. So he was tweeting a lot about Backlash when that was happening. He's been tweeting about the sales of All In, and obviously he's been heavily teasing that he's going to have a rematch with Nick Gage in a death match, which don't do it, man. It's not worth it.
What if it is though?
I mean, he beat Nick Gage like he did last time.
I know.
He's the deathmatch king.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not, but go on.
He is.
Sure.
He's undefeated in death matches.
Didn't John Moxley get the title off him?
I wasn't death match mate.
What a bit more former
he did
Impact.
It onto light tubes.
bit more former Impact / WWE news is former Impact and WWE star Kimberly has announced she's retiring from wrestling.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I know she's not been in too great a place lately. She said she's working on healing and becoming a healer, I think is what the way she said. So yeah, good luck to her.
Something that I am excited for is Mox is going to Japan.
Yeah.
To fight Okada.
It's a hell of a match, isn't it? He's in a 6-man.
Resurgence is the strong one, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's going there after that.
Oh God, he's been threatened to do this since like lockdown saved Japan for several years, but Moxley's war on Japanese wrestling has been threatened for a while now.
Especially as they're hating his boy.
There was a point where he was just send them through the forbidden door and I'll murder them, and now it's like no, fuck it, I'm coming through the other side, like the end of Pacific Rim. I'm taking the bomb to fucking Japan to blow it up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. There was a big return in New Japan as well this week, wasn't it? Obviously, there was those vignettes. Like it was like a new kit in Japan, wasn't it? And then or an asteroid hit in Japan, and like a wolf and like a guy walking through flames. It turned out to be the return of Yota Tsuji. Have you seen Yota Tsuji before, Big Tasty?
I have not.
You'll love him. He's a big lad.
Oh, nice.
He's a gigantic horse. He joined LIJ and he's challenging Sanada. I believe it's at Dominion, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's
that's a big match for like
Sanada's
coming back.
Sanada's just joined Just 5 Normal Men, hasn't he?
Just 5 innocent men. So just give a bit of info about Resurgence. So Moxley is going to be teaming with Shooter and Shoots and Utes to take on Rocky Romero. To take on Rocky Romero.
Little Shota.
Yeah, to take on Rocky Romero, Ishii, and Okada in a 6-man match.
Rocky Romero said he's going to fuck Wheeler Yuta up.
I thought you said he's going to fuck Wheeler Yuta. I'm like, that's big energy.
We're going to get it.
Give you an idea of the rest of the card, because the card is fire. You've got the DKC versus Bateman, Alex Coughlin versus Daniels, Mighty O'Neill, which is Badu Tito and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Barbero, Cavaniero, and Virus. Then we've got the Mercedes, we've got the New Japan Strong Women's Championship Tournament.
I'm excited.
So you've got Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vecker and Momo Kogo versus Willow Nightingale. Then the two of them, the winner of those two, fight in the final later in the night. You've also got Juice Robinson versus Fred Rosser. For the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, you've got Hikuleo defending against Kenta. And then you've got for the United States Heavyweight Championship #1 contenders match, you've got Will Ospreay versus Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like we're getting Mox and Okada at Dominion.
So that
Which
takes
is
place.
insane.
That takes place May 21st. So it's not too long to go for that.
And not too much before Double or Nothing as well.
But yeah, and then Dominion's like 3 weeks before Forbidden Door, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be.
I feel like this is definitely going to be one of these things where you're going to have to watch both sides to really get a full picture of Forbidden Door, I think, which I like.
Like when you buy like a crossover comic book story and you have to read like both the issues to like sort of get the full picture.
Yeah.
You have to do that with
or like the big events they used to well, I say used to, the big event comics they do where there's like about 5 or 6 different fucking spin-off arcs.
You've got to read all the different books that go into it.
But I like this better than what they did with Forbidden Door last year, where it didn't really feel like it crossed over. It just felt like a supercard.
I feel like Forbidden Door last year though, because obviously like Japan was still a little bit behind on like COVID restrictions and that. It was a bit harder to do. Whereas
they couldn't get many people over to AW or AW stars over to Japan to do any like cross promotion. Because you could get you got Okada was the big one, you got Switchblade, but they didn't have like a lot of the matches were just announced and then nothing happened until the show.
Yeah.
Another bit of news, a bit of more AW news. So obviously there was a recent departure in AW. Leva Bates finished up the company. She's been there since day one.
That makes me so sad.
But yeah, however, it's been sort of mooted. I don't have a source for this, but it's been mooted a lot on the internet that she's actually stepping away from wrestling to pursue acting. She had some headshots done earlier.
Keeps putting stuff up, doesn't she?
Well, she had some headshots done in the year, and also more notably, she stopped calling her hair blue, which I think is a big sign that she's, maybe lots of moves of acting. Which if she does, then fair play, good luck to her. Hope she does, hope she does really, really well. She's very personable. She's very charismatic. I think she'd do a great job.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Two worrying co-statements. One, Triple H announced that obviously the new heavyweight champion will be crowned at Night of Champions, and 2, Roman Reigns will wrestle at Night of Champions.
They've announced the 12 men who are going to be in that.
Just one more, just one Roman.
Boys.
No.
I'm trying to find it. I've
got it here.
Have you?
I think. Come on,
I know Corey's in it.
Finish the story.
And AJ.
Yeah, and Nakamura, who they've been really like building strong recently. I wouldn't be disappointed if he went very far.
I'd like to see Shin and Cody have a match. To be honest, I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
See if Wikipedia has the answers.
It was on Twitter.
Wikipedia hasn't filled in the brackets yet, so. Oh, here we go. Petitions revealed on May 7th on the YouTube channel. Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Seth freaking Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, and The Miz from Raw, and AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, Edge, Rey Mysterio, and Sheamus from SmackDown.
Edge? That's odd.
So the average age of the competitors is 42.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset if Big Shamey went far.
Yeah, I mean, who have you got there? Seth, Cody, Shinsuke, AJ, Sheamus, probably the favourites.
I think Shinsuke's not a bad shout at all.
If you're going to do something with him, like, now's the fucking time, innit? Sheamus again. Sheamus is always, he's won every other title except the IC one, so why not keep that going?
Yeah. Just trying to find the other thing I saw.
Chris Jericho had a rant, didn't he? Because he got mentally and physically assaulted, his words, at Mandalay Bay Hotel.
Did he?
He said, "Hey, Mandalay Bay, it's unacceptable that you tried to bully me and assault me when all I wanted was my bags. I left the concierge. Your security staff ignored me for 30 minutes, and when I made some noise, physically and mentally assaulted me and laughed in my face. I want restitution now."
Fucking hell.
He's gone full Karen, basically.
Yeah. got a little preview for GCW on Thursday
I'll go for it. Yeah,
they've got a very, very good card coming up. They've just literally just like an hour ago announced Sawyer X going to be there, which you'll love to see.
yeah, absolutely.
Also on the card is Nick Gage, Masha Slamovich versus Alec Price, Blake Christian versus Joey Janela, the SAT versus Wasted Youth, Charles Mason versus Jimmy Lloyd, Jordan Oliver defending the JCW World title against John Wayne Murdoch, Matt Cardona's birthday party, and a dream match, actual dream match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tony Deppen.
Oof, yeah, I'll have a bit of that, please.
Good.
Also, Nick Gage is there, so he's probably gonna
Ruin Matt Cardona's birthday.
Probably gonna ruin Matt Cardona's birthday like he did his wedding.
Matt Cardona's wedding nearly ruined pro wrestling because it gave everyone COVID.
So funny, oh my god.
Gave Cody COVID and he couldn't finish the story.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant the renewing the vows.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona's wedding. I
remember the wedding got Steve Macklin fired from WWE, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah, because he basically ignored COVID protocols to go to the wedding because it was while they were
of wrestlers. It felt like it took out half the AEW roster, to be honest.
Well, it gave Cody the Rona and he had to postpone a match. It wasn't a TNT match. That's when they made the interim TNT title, wasn't it? Yeah.
They made the interim TNT title. It was when the universe started to fracture.
Yeah, it broke the Codyverse.
No, thank you.
Right. Should we finish off on something fun?
Yeah.
Just a little fun irreverent one to finish off, and we always have to finish on something hilarious. Darby Allin, in an interview with Wrestle Purists, said that one thing he wants to do next year that no wrestler's done before is climb Mount Everest.
MJF retweeted that and said, "Do it before Double or Nothing. I believe in you."
I honestly believe Darby Allin will do that because he's a fucking lunatic. I mean, I don't know how he's going to survive because he's got no body fat, but
Don't worry about it. He'll find a way.
He'll learn Sting's snow controlling powers. It's fine.
As long as he doesn't jump off it or something, then it's fine.
He 100% would.
Just base jump off Mount Everest. And all right, okay.
It's I wonder if fall damage applies here, and then just just go for it.
Oh, he's definitely gonna try and do a coffin drop or something at the top, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or skateboard at the top or something.
Grind off like peak of Everest.
Like that Tony Hawk's Underground level where you're in Skatopia and you've got to grind all the way down it. You got a manual all the way down.
I don't know what Tony Hawk's Underground is.
You don't know what?
I purged it from my memory. There's only 3 Tony Hawk's games.
Aww, I like those ones.
What about the skate?
Skate's good. I can do skate. Skate's awesome. Just give us another one. Cowards.
Yeah. I've got a nice one to finish on actually.
Oh,
that's all.
Yeah, of course.
Pat McAfee has welcomed his first child into the world.
Yes, as has Warhorse.
As has Warhorse. I missed Warhorse's one. On May the 4th, Pat McAfee welcomed a baby girl. I can't find the name of his daughter, but yeah, Pat McAfee is now Daddy Pat. You'll love to see. Daddy, I don't know. There's so many possibilities there now, isn't there? But yeah, congratulations to Pat McAfee and his wife Samantha.
And Warhorse.
And his wife Tam.
So Warhorse's son, Boston David Parnell, was also born May the 4th. All these Star Wars babies. 10:01 p.m. So yeah, Warhorse is already posting hilarious memes about taking his son to the gym. As you'd expect.
Of course he is.
There's one when it's instructions, exercising baby, and it's yes, moving their legs, and it's no, spotting them while they do
amazing.
I love Warhorse. He's
gonna be a top dad, and he's gonna be fantastic.
I can't wait for those.
I can't wait for 20 years time when him and his son are on a fucking tag team run.
Oh, and when Warhorse is a grizzled, looks like Vince Neil does nowadays.
Let's have Matt Hardy and Warhorse with their respective sons.
Yes, just in a faction.
Yeah.
I feel like Warhorse should just like be given a good contract now to help out his son because he's a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, have we got anything else? Or
no, I think we're all done. We'll call it there. We'll be back next week for whatever the fuck is happening in wrestling.
I'll be totally fine. It'll be okay.
No, we need to talk very briefly before we go about Big Gay Brunch because.
Oh yeah.
Dark Shake got announced.
Yeah, that's going to be happening on Friday. We're all going. We'll be talking about it.
Bayern's going as well. A menace.
Yeah. We'll be talking about it next week on the podcast. We'll have a little review.
It's going to be so much fun.
I'm trying to find the card, but don't fucking hold me. Don't.
I know the main event is Charles Crowley, Alexis Falcon, and Shea Monet versus Bussy and Session.
Not Thrusy, but Bussy and Session. Yeah.
We're also getting the Rainbow Rumble, which has the best people in it.
Yeah, Harley Hudson, Commander Sterling. Is Priscilla in there?
Tony Wright.
Tony Wright.
Ethan Steen. Lucia Lee. Lucia Lee specifically said she's going to try and eliminate Harley, which gives me hope that we're going to get that down the line.
Puts into the previous Rumble. That was at the kids' one.
We've got the She-Wolves, which is Angel Hayes and Molly Spartan because Casey's injured.
So they're using like the free bit.
Yeah, versus Lana Austin and Sky Smithson.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Obviously, we've got Para versus the Demo.
Yeah. Arrow isn't real.
Para is real, and he will hit specifically you, Jay. I've been in his DMs.
In other news, I'm not going to be wearing my Big Demo shirt for Big Gay Brunch like I originally planned. We don't know who Sheik's facing, do we? Just know that she's there.
Not yet.
No.
I'm just very excited for the Rainbow Rumble. I'm not going to lie.
The Rainbow Rumble is going to be a match of the year potentially, and it's going to be nuts. Yeah, just as appearing.
It's got lots of my favourite people in it.
Probably just be in the Rumble, then, I guess. Won't be.
Yeah, they might be in a match. They might just be in the Rumble. But yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. It's the first time ever we've had a Big Gay Brunch inside the US. Super excited for it. It's on Eurovision Eve as well, which is like gay Christmas. It's gay Christmas. It's going to be phenomenal. Liverpool's already like fucking nuts. Like now, like I'm scared to leave my flat because of how rammed town is like all the time. There was 30,000. There were 30,000 people here last night to see Frankie Goes to Hollywood, which is just incredible.
Fantastic. I went to the Ukrainian little village store they've got down the dock. It was a lot of fun. It was really good. So if you're there for Big Gay Brunch, check out the Eurovision Village, which is there till the 14th of May. It's amazing.
I've just been avoiding it all like the fucking plague because
I love Eurovision.
Fair. Yeah. On that note, then we'll call it. Yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll be back next week to tell you all about what went down at Big Gay Brunch, provided that Eurovision hasn't just swept us all into oblivion.
Dave Meltzer might want the Eurovision results. He did get offered them last time, and he said, "Yeah."
Oh, nice. Yeah. Get Gareth to give us the inside scoop, mate, and we'll forward them on. So Daddy Dave.
I won't be. I probably won't be okay following the events of Dynamite next week.
No, we'll all. So we've got a lot to talk about next week. So it's gonna be a big one. So make sure you pop back and listen to Faye have like a mental breakdown in real time.
Yeah,
I can't wait for John Moxley to use a screwdriver to take Kenny Omega's eye.
No, his eyes are too perfect.
Right, on that, and then we'll leave it there. We'll see you next week. Thank you all very much for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello, yes, Danhausen here. Danhausen has been summoned. You must love this podcast housing, the Untitled Wrestling Podcast housing.